Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mesa Mexican Cuisine here in Grapevine for the final and most follically challenged Grapevine head football coaches show of the season with head coach Bob DeBesse. I'm Jacob Detamore. I'm with Champion Sports Radio, been doing the play-by-play for the last 3 seasons of Grapevine, filling in for Carly Isbell tonight. And I'm here with Grapevine head coach Bob DeBesse. And, Coach, let's go ahead and just get right into this. You know, things didn't go, obviously, the way we would have liked on Thursday night of last week, but it was a competitive football game. Still had chances late in that game, and we're still able to, fight down through the end. But when you look back at the course of this season, this team, and what everything's had to deal with, with you taking over the program when you did, what is the one thing or one or two things that you are most proud of about this squad this year?
Well, I think you saw one of them the other night, and that is the fact that even though we couldn't come up with a critical stop or a critical score to get us within, to make it a one-score game, you saw our guys continue to fight and stay together and truly play as a team. And I think, as I look back, the thing that makes me most proud about this group was the fact that in my opinion, they truly became a team. Early on, it was tough. Early on, it was difficult. We were still trying to get to know each other, and they were trying to get to know position coaches, and had so many new faces in the locker room. Still trying to get to know each other, and then to start off like we did, and to face the adversity that we did, and it could have gone either way. But to their credit, the seniors' credit in particular, but the football team, I saw steady improvement throughout the season. I think we were playing some of our best football at the end of the season. And like I said, they truly became a family. They truly became a team.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about what happened Thursday night and get into that. First off, I think you have to tip your cap to a very good Emerson Mavericks football team, a very talented squad with a Oklahoma commit at quarterback and a Texas State commit at wide receiver. They're obviously a very talented football team, but your guys were right there with them. There was a lot of things that, not necessarily things that Emerson did, things that happened in the game that didn't go your way, but overall it really was a very competitive and hard-fought football game all the way down the stretch.
No, it was, and I think the key was, they got off to a fast start and we didn't. They got off to a 14-0 start, so we were always playing catch-up. And that's difficult against a team like that. Again, like you said, you do have to give credit where credit's due. And I think Emerson's got a chance if they stay healthy, particularly that backfield. They've got a chance to make some noise in the playoffs and go aways. But again, after 14-0, it could have gone either way, and it didn't, because our kids, had got some answers on defense, started playing better on defense, started to get some things together on offense. And like I said, we kept answering the bell in the second half, but we could not ever get it to within one score. It was always a 2-score game. Ended up being a 10-point game. But credit to our guys. They went in expected to win, and there was a lot of disappointment, given the fact that we didn't.
Well, anytime your season comes to an end, that's part of the way it goes in this sport or any sport. Only one team in each division gets to celebrate at the end of the season. Somebody is going to end up, falling along the way and have their season come to an end in a negative fashion. But one of the things I took from that game was the play of both Harrison Hackbarth and DeMontrez Dunn. I thought Harrison, especially in the option attack, had one of his best games of the season from a decision-making standpoint, and how he was able to take advantages of some things that the Emerson defense was doing.
And we ran a couple of things that they had not seen because of their speed on defense. We had to try to get them going one way and go back the other, and that's where we popped some big plays on our counter option. But you're right, Hack did a really nice job of making good decisions, picked up some big chunks, had some big explosives, as did DeMontrez. Again, I think the offensive line, probably was the most improved unit as the year went on, and they had a lot to do with any success that we had the other night as well.
Well, let's also talk about the defense a little bit. The defense, who really had been leading this team most of the season, it was just a tough matchup that they faced on Thursday night last week, and they did what they could. But this has always been a defense that relies on speed and getting sideline to sideline and gang tackling. And tackling those three players, Michael Hawkins, Cameron Lockhart, and Izzy Bills, was just a yeoman's job to try and accomplish.
And we had we had seen it on video, obviously, leading up to the game. We weren't the Lone Rangers, but again, credit to them, credit to their offensive line, and credit to their staff. They had some nice schemes. We had them hemmed in at times, or we thought we had them hemmed in at times, and all of a sudden they pop a big one and continue to drive. We just could not get a critical stop when we needed to, and they kept nickel and diming us, and I thought they did a really nice job of possessing the ball too. They weren't in any hurry. I think that their game plan changed a little bit. Did not let the quarterback throw a whole lot, and the weather may have had something to do with that, and the success with the run game also. But again, those are the kind of teams you're going to see in the playoffs, and I fully expect that Emerson. I expect them to be playing football for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how far exactly they are able to advance in 5A Division II. Let's go ahead and get to the highlights, and we'll start kind of breaking down what happened last week.
Okay, hold on one second.
How's everybody doing tonight here at MESA here in Grapevine? MESA Mexican Cuisine here on Northwest Highway in Grapevine. We got a lot of the players here tonight. We are going to be having some special guests this evening, as they have every week. Grapevine head golf coach Bryan Humphreys is going to be joining us, along with Chloe Sirkin and Nick Castro, two of his players, defending state champion Chloe Sirkin, by the way. Thank you to our production team, Davis Burke. Yes. Thank you to our production team, Davis Burke and Chris Wymore. And, of course, it is the Grapevine Mustang Football Booster Club who produces this fine show every week.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with a shot here on purpose. Devin Thomas does a really good job of penetrating right here. I want to go to the end zone copy here. Watch the quickness of this back right here. Watch him make Devin miss, and watch how quickly he gets vertical right here and up the hash. And that's what our guys faced all night long. And I don't care what you do in practice, you can't replicate that. And you got to get used to the speed of the game. So you got some guys flying around. You got Brady Boozer, you got Major Heck, you got Maddox Stanley flying around right there. But bottom line was he made the first guy miss, and we saw that a lot that night.
Devin is not a guy who misses once he gets into the backfield. Very, very rarely.
And
there's
one he almost makes the play. Great, really a physical play by Maddox Stanley on the edge. You've seen Major do this a lot this year, kind of forcing everything back inside. Again, good team defense. Okay, so they did a really nice job of mixing it up. The quarterback was reading, the run game most of the night. They also didn't turn the ball over. We turned it over our last offensive play of the game, but so it's a pretty clean game from that standpoint. Okay. Here's Tatum Evans, Bradley Stanier, Leighton Towery. You see Major getting in the box there as a tackler. Okay, Devin Thomas occupying a couple of blockers right there and doing a good job of being physical. The number of times we ended up knocking guys back was pretty impressive. It's just when they got to the perimeter, they made life a little bit.
When you're playing a team like this that has a legit dual threat quarterback, does it just end up breaking down defensively back to assignment football? Oh yeah, obviously it does, particularly with the run, particularly when they're reading it like they are. Okay, so here's the first play. Here's the first offensive play of the night. We call this a peel, 21 peel, so it's just off the inside zone, looking like option. I'll go ahead and show you. Watch the two safeties back there. See how they run. Yeah.
See how they're running with Brady in particular, and they're running with the way that Hack opens up, and so there's no safety left on the backside right there, and DeMontrez breaks a nice play. Good job by the offensive line again up front. Ryan Knight is a guy, number 64, our left tackle. He's a guy that has just improved tremendously. Hunter Cottle right there at the right guard position. Hunter's with us tonight as a DNA award winner. There's, you see, part of the reason he was. Our guys played their tails off. They played really hard. Okay, this is the counter play we talked about. Look at the two look at the two safeties and the linebacker right here. Just key on those guys. Okay, and you see where the ball is, okay?
Yep, they went with the flow.
Two false keys right there by DeMontrez and by Brady right here coming back. Hunter's a puller, and Hack's going to option the in-man line of scrimmage right there. Ends up being a big play. Now, unfortunately, this is called back. They called Darius Burns right there at the top for the block in the back. I don't know, maybe.
That's very close.
Maybe.
That's very close.
Another kid that was a hell of a player for Emerson is this number 11 right here. See, watch him. He's the Mike backer right here.
Yes.
He runs with the counter fake, and then watch him chase Hack down right here.
He was all over the field on Thursday night.
Really good football player. All right, back to them on offense. Back to them running the read game. And again, here's Devin running up the field. making it a hard read for the quarterback. Quarterback gives it. We get a negative play.
Like how Bradley, who's with us tonight, Bradley Stanier, really came down and crashed from the end as well.
Bradley had a big. Bradley just told us coming in, this is his 6th time with us tonight as a DNA award winner. It's pretty good for an underclassman. All right, here it is. Now I had to put this on here. You don't hear me complain about officials very much.
Yeah.
Watch our left guard. Watch our left guard pull here. He touches nobody. He actually whiffs. Okay? They call this an illegal cut. Okay, so you tell me where the cut is.
Yeah, there's nobody on the ground.
There's nobody on the ground. So this is a 50-plus yard play that sets us up inside the 20-yard line that ends up being called back on a phantom call. There is no cut there. So that's a real shame.
Yeah, very much so. I'm not quite sure why you throw a flag if there was actually no contact. You can't throw a flag for intent.
And the guy that calls it is the side judge, which is crazy. So that's a shame. I don't complain about officials very much, but that is a bad call. It was well, you said that, I didn't. Okay. Now we come back with the same thing. Now look at this, okay? Look at this cut. Okay, watch. This is Hunter, I believe. Watch Hunter coming out from the right guard position, actually getting a cut.
Yep.
And nothing gets called here. So a lot of flags thrown, a lot of inconsistency. This ended up being a scoring drive, actually. Well, this was the same drive. We ended up getting a field goal out of this. So Our kids did a good job of recovering from a long yardage situation. So Hayden Rhodes is with us tonight. Hayden's obviously had a big night kicking. This is a 42-yard field goal in less than ideal conditions for sure.
Quite adverse for a kicker.
And Hayden had a heck of a night for us. Several of his extra points ended up being like field goals because we had penalties on those as well. So Hayden ended up his career with a heck of a night. Okay, here's Darion Burns coming from the corner spot. Brady Boozer from the inside. Okay, from the inside, forcing it out to Darius right here and making a good open field tackle with Brady helping out.
Great job getting off the block by Darius right there.
And again, those guys were hard to tackle in space. I put this one on here because this is another young man, a young guy that's going to have a really big senior season for us. Thomas Power is returning this punt right here, okay? What's important, the first thing that's important for a punt returner is to catch the football first. Anything after that is bonus. You'd like to see a punt returner get a first down. In other words, get at least 10 yards for the offense.
Right.
And Thomas gets more than this, okay? More than that, rather, okay? Really a nice return, really a physical return on his part. And he did a really good job all year long of returning punts for us. Good job by Leighton Tower right there being physical on 33 coming down the field. Good help by Ryan.
Strong return, running through tackles on that one.
All right, we put this in at halftime. This is an adjustment to how they were playing their safeties right here. We double arced the tight ends. You can see Ian Hatton, the guy who's the on the ball tight end. Watch him chasing his safety. Thinks that DeMontrez Dunn has the ball. Okay, and of course Rondell is here tonight. Rondell came back after missing the first 3 games and had a unbelievable season for us as a senior. Our most explosive player on offense. Unbelievable number of big plays for the number of times that he touched the football. And obviously, we're certainly going to miss.
Well, that's a great lead block
him.
by Wagner, who had Brady Wagner had the same issue this year.
Brady was out for 3 games as well. Big 3rd and 8 conversion here. This is a touchdown drive. Great job of Hack sitting in there, waiting for the throw to develop. And this is Will Matheny coming up, who ended up being a really, really consistent receiver for us, coming up with a big 3rd down conversion in traffic.
That's a great job high-pointing the ball right there, making sure he got above the defense as the linebacker was closing in.
Whoops. All right, this is a counter play. Again, we've run this year, not a whole lot, but we've run it this year. Again, misdirection against them was important. A great job again by Hunter pulling from the right guard position. Brady Wagner coming out and making a decision that Ryan Knight had 11 blocks, so he just goes all the way to the safety to spring DeMontrez for another big run, which sets up another touchdown.
And the wide receivers blocking downfield. Will Matheny with a great job.
Again. Yeah, a lot of unselfishness developed on both sides of the ball, but certainly on the offensive side as much as we ran the football. Okay. All right, now Rondell is known for his speed and his quickness. Watch Rondell here. This time our receiver doesn't block as he should, and he turns his guy totally loose, but watch Rondell run over his tail and get into the end zone. So there's a very determined senior right there. If he can't run around him or run by him, he's going to run over him. It's a heck of a job.
Taking lessons from his backfield mates on that one.
Mm-hmm. That's that score tackle drill that we do. All right, here we get the quarterback hemmed up, which we didn't do a whole lot, but here's a great job of doing it. Excellent open field tackle by Major, who's with us tonight. You can see, I believe that's Maddox Stanley coming from the opposite side, actually forcing him outside into Major right there. And then Ryan Hamilton coming up, Devin coming up, Bradley Stanier coming up, Leighton coming up, Cooper coming up. A lot of good team defense right there, guys running to the ball in what was a very competitive second half. It was a 21-21 second half, and again, just couldn't get it close enough. Okay, we needed a big play. This is in the fourth quarter, our second to last drive. We needed a big play. It's 2nd and 17 after a penalty, and Hack stands strong and gets the ball out there to Darius Burns off of a little play action right there. So it's literally one-on-one with he in the corner, and Hack gives him a great chance to catch the ball right there, which sets up, I believe, our final touchdown. We had been working on this play for a month. We've been working in practice on this play for a month, not sure when we were going to use it. Didn't have to use it the last couple of district ball games, wanted to save it for the playoffs. And that's Ian Hatton with his first and only touchdown catch of the year.
Worked beautifully.
Great job of Hack getting it out there to him, too. So there we go. All right, let's get these players up here.
All right, well, those are the highlights from the game against Emerson on Thursday night of last week. So, yes, let's go ahead and bring up some of these players and the DNA players of the week. And we're going to start with senior number 21, the attitude player of the week, Rondell Carradine. How you doing, Rondell?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So this was an interesting season for you. Had to come back from, you'll have to hold that close. Otherwise, I'm going to pick you up, just FYI. You're getting the Attitude Award this week. Talk about what your attitude was all through the summer and into the fall as you're trying to get back on the field and get back so you can get out there and play in your senior season.
Yeah, all through the recovery process, it was just trying to just get back to help the team, you know. I mean, can't really ask for more than that. A lot of support from the team, coaches, parents, and family members. And, my attitude was pretty positive throughout, I'd say. So it was just trying to get back.
It was just, you just wanted to get out there as quickly as possible without risking anything further?
Right.
So coming up, obviously, football season is done. What are you going to be doing the rest of your senior season athletically?
I plan on running track for sure. Well, not plan on, but I'm going to run track for sure. Hopefully I can, catch the eye of some coaches for track so I can run in college.
What are your specialties?
100, 200, and long jump.
Part of that sprint relay team as well?
Yes, I am.
Sprint relay, fantastic. And you were telling me earlier about what your goals are for college. What are you looking to do college-wise, and where would you like to go?
I haven't gotten any responses back yet, but my top 3 are Chicago, Michigan, and Berkeley.
University of Chicago.
Right.
Okay.
University of Chicago. And I want to go into psychiatry, so it'll be a pretty long path.
Why psychiatry?
I've always liked helping people, and just some personal things that have pushed me to try to pursue that path and stuff like that.
Any field where you can help others is always one that's worthy of pursuing.
It is.
Rondell Carradine, everybody. Up next, we have the Compete Player of the Week. It is sophomore linebacker Cooper Towery. Cooper.
Hello.
Cooper, this has been an interesting season for you. You know, you've been playing a lot on the defensive side of the ball. I know Thursday was a rough game. We could see you getting frustrated out there at different times. Those guys were very hard to tackle. But I just want to talk about more. What was it like this year playing on the varsity with Leighton, your brother, who's a senior?
Well, first off, it's a lot different than freshman.
A little bit.
Yeah, and super fun getting to play side by side with him and the other guys. Always encouraging each other, you know. Yeah.
So what was that physically for you? What was that like? Was it a little bit of a rude awakening when you first got out on the field with the varsity?
The first week, yes, and then I started to pick it up on the second week, and so on in practice.
And what was it like during the game playing alongside your brother? I mean, you guys obviously have grown up doing a lot of things together. Last year, obviously, he was on the last couple of years, he was on the varsity, and you were just coming into high school. But what was that like with the two of you communication-wise on the field as brothers?
It was super fun, and last game it got really emotional. You know, trying to impress him and be the little brother and help the team out as much as I can, but that was our last game together.
And now that moving forward, obviously you're going to be looked at as one of the leaders, even though you're only going to be a junior, you'll be looked at as one of the leaders on this program along with Hunter, who we're going to talk to here in just a minute. What are your goals moving forward as far as trying to keep this program at the level it's been?
Just encourage the incoming linebackers and let them know all that I know and be one of the top tacklers on the defense.
And what about other sports you're going to be competing in as you go through your high school career?
I run track and 300 hurdles.
300 hurdles?
Yes,
all right.
sir.
So competing in things other than football.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Everybody, sophomore linebacker Cooper Towery. Now we have senior safety / linebacker Major Hecht joining us. Major? Good to see you. You've been given the Tough Award this week. I guess when I think about toughness, what you did this year had to really draw on some of your toughness, moving from a safety position to pretty much a full-time linebacker spot. And it's not like you got a whole lot bigger in the offseason. You're still who you are. So what was that like for you physically trying to get into that position?
Well, it gave me a different perspective on life and some big humans. So, just made me, have to think a lot more, know the plays a lot better, and, being a lot closer, I didn't have as much time to react. So, it taught me a lot.
What about the physical aspect of having to almost every play take on those much larger humans?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah? What'd you love about it?
I don't know. I like going and hitting people. It's
Yeah?
kind of why I play football.
So that was actually some of the fun for you, was being able to really dive into just throwing your body around.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you have planned for the rest of your senior season, either athletically or anything else?
I think I'm going to try to go, play some old sports, maybe try out for basketball, wrestling, or baseball, see what I can do and just, enjoy the rest of my year.
You mentioned last year you were going to try and play baseball, but things didn't work out from a schedule standpoint. But baseball is a sport you played a lot growing up, yes?
Yes.
And so what position would you be playing in baseball, and do you think that's going to be able to happen for you in the spring?
I don't know. The people have gotten a lot better, and I've gotten a lot worse. So I would say I'd try to be an outfielder, maybe left field, right field, and try not to throw my arm out in the first week.
Well, that would probably be helpful. It would probably help you play a little longer if you don't throw your arm out.
Yeah.
What about college plans, where I guess you would like to try and play football somewhere, so that would be your first goal. But if not, where would you like to try and attend school regardless?
I am trying to attend UT, TCU, and OU, so I'm going to pick between one of those three. My dad wanted to go to UT so bad, and that's his favorite school.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
So I actually came into work today. It was my first day working with him today, and I came in all my OU gear to just really, inspire him. and I got fired. So.
Yeah, I almost refuse to talk to you because you're wearing that shirt. I'm just telling you. I went to the University of Texas, so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm a Longhorn. We're 9-1. I'm just saying we're 9-1. No, but but football wise, do you have a couple of prospects that you think that might come through for you?
There's a few schools that are, looking at me and may give me a chance, and I think that'd be great.
One of them, I think you mentioned we have a connection to. Yes.
Oh yeah. Maybe follow Parker Polk and go walk on at Abilene Christian.
There we go. Everybody, give it up for Major Hecht. Now with the Family Award winner, it is senior place kicker Hayden Rhodes. How you doing? Doing well. Okay, there goes the sound. Hayden, you had a really good senior season. Things really got better for you, I thought, and Tim and I, my broadcast partner Tim Smith and I, as the year went on. What was it like, though, on a playoff game of all nights, having to kick in those kind of conditions?
Well, I think it's fun getting to kick in any weather, but, I mean, it's not ideal, but you got to just do what life gives you, so.
Go ahead and hold a little closer so the folks can hear you.
All right.
There we go. There we go. All right. Now, there was a situation, I think it was last week, where Coach DeBesse was not real happy with you after a couple of kickoffs went out of bounds. Can you summarize basically the things he said to you in a family-friendly way?
Just get it together. It's the best family-friendly way I can word it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, but the good thing is the next time you had a good kickoff into the end zone, he gave you some dap coming off the field.
I got it together.
That's exactly right. All right. When you think about family, obviously any athletic team is going to be a family, but football it's even bigger because there's so many of you. How did you guys this year try to make this team a family?
A lot of group activities, and outside of football, we'd all hang out and stuff like that. So just kind of being together and growing together closer as friends.
What are you going to be doing coming up the rest of your senior season athletically?
I'm going to play soccer, and then I'm going to try track.
What for those who are familiar with soccer, but even not, what is your preferred position on a soccer team?
Striker or wing.
Okay, you want to get those goals. All right, very good. And what do you have planned for yourself as far as college goes?
I want to go play football in college.
Okay.
I think I can. It's just a matter of where. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see.
Are you having any conversations with any schools at this point yet?
I'm talking to a few schools, but they're talking to some other people too, so we'll see.
The college recruiting process is an interesting one, isn't it?
It is.
Very much so. All right, everybody give a round of applause to Hayden Rhodes. Now our Discipline Player of the Week is junior defensive end Bradley Stanier. Bradley, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, too.
So first you're starting on the varsity alongside a lot of these other guys. What was that like for you this season as a junior especially?
It was pretty sweet. It was really nice getting to see that perspective. I mean, I got to see it last year, but I got injured. First game I got brought up, so I couldn't really be on the field and actually experience it like I did this year.
Ended up actually leading the team in sacks this year. What is your attitude when it comes to how your attitude and your way of trying to get the best way to get to the quarterback?
I mean, just beating the linemen, outrun them. You can't typically move too fast.
What was it like this year playing alongside a guy like Devin Thomas? Everybody coming into this year knew how good Devin was and how much attention he draws. Was that helpful from your standpoint?
Yeah, it gave me some great confidence in our D-line. I mean, also having Ty at nose, he clogged up the middle, and then Debo and I worked on the outside. So if he ran on the other side, I could almost always count on Debo to get him.
When you think of discipline, you're going to be, along with a couple of the other guys here, you're going to be looked at as one of the leaders coming in. You're going to be a senior next year, and going into this offseason, it's going to be treated almost like a senior class. What do you want to bring to this program as far as the discipline aspect goes?
I just want to bring others up with me as long as I can, and just kind of give everybody a great attitude.
And you were telling me earlier this offseason, not going to play any other sports. You're just going to focus on trying to get a little bigger, a little stronger, see if he can take on those offensive linemen with a little bit something other than speed?
A little bit of weight would help me not get thrown.
All right, everybody give a round of applause to Bradley Stanier. Thanks, man. And finally tonight, we have our fight player. It is sophomore offensive lineman Hunter Caudle.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. We met last year, your freshman year. Okay, I have to ask about the hair first thing because you walked in here looking like Thor, and I wasn't exactly sure what to think. Where did this come? When and how did this come about?
My mom in my kitchen.
Okay.
And we decided for playoffs, me and my friend Ethan, we decided, hey, we want to commit to this. We're confident in our team.
Couldn't get anybody else on board to go with you on that one, huh?
Nah.
No, not this time around. It was an interesting year for you. Obviously, in the starting lineup as a sophomore, played all last year as a freshman, but this year, for different reasons, you had to play multiple positions and started games at multiple positions on the line of scrimmage. What was that experience like for you?
It was really interesting. It was fun to keep switching it up every game, but also helping my teammates out as well, because when you move different positions, you have to learn each position. So I was able to help my teammates out as well. When I would move different positions, I could tell them where to go. So it just made the whole unit better overall.
And the offensive line, for those who don't know, the offensive line is probably the one position group on a football field that really has to work as a group and as a unit, less so than as individual players. And you being the only returning starter this year, how did you help get that gelling process together with your guys?
Just communication and also hanging out outside of football, because that's really important as well, being able to have good bonding time together, being able to communicate, just stuff like that.
And obviously you had a fellow sophomore this year, Ethan Rudolph, starting at center this year. And you guys, you're going to be two returning starters. You should have more, so it's going to be a little bit more experience in the group next year. What are you guys going to do to try and get that process jump-started next year as opposed to how things went maybe in this past summer?
We'll already have a head start just because everyone's returning. We'll know that we need to get a faster start because this year was a little bit of a slow start, trying to get everyone on board, everyone bought into the team. But this year I feel like we'll start early and we'll be able to get head start.
Are you going to be doing any other sports while you're at Grapevine?
Basketball and track.
Basketball and track. Okay, your body is one that I'm sure is good at rebounding.
Yes,
Most boxing guys out, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be able to get the rest of the offensive linemen to maybe go with the blonde look in the spring and next fall?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, we just need to get him a hammer. That's all we need. All right, everybody, give it up for Hunter Caudle. All right, and at this time, I think we're going to go ahead and bring up our special guests for this evening. It is Grapevine head golf coach Bryan Humphreys, his defending state champion junior Chloe Sirkin, and senior Nick Castro. Doing well. Thank you, Coach. Hop off and shake hands here. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, let's start. We'll start with you, Coach. Okay.
All right.
So, Coach Humphreys has been here for 24 years.
Yes.
What brought you to Grapevine initially? Because obviously you did it when you were, right around just while you were in your late 20s. So what brought you to Grapevine?
About 30 years ago, I moved here to be the golf professional at Grapevine Golf Course. And so it gave me that opportunity to get to know people around here, make some great relationships, talk to people. And my degree was in education. And so when the opportunity came up with Grapevine several years later, it was a dream come true for me.
And has golf always been your first love from a sports standpoint?
Yeah, I played high school and in college.
Oh,
yes.
Fantastic! Where were you in college at?
Northwestern State.
Northwestern. Oh, in Louisiana. Yeah, I'm familiar. Yes. I'm familiar. And obviously, for those who don't know as well, 3-time state champion,
yes,
golf coach, 17, 18, and 19. He's wearing one of those rings tonight. And for the first time last year, you have an individual state champion that is sitting right in front of us in Chloe Sirkin. I'm going to ask you this in a minute, but as a coach, what was the difference in being able to celebrate one of your own players' individual accomplishment as opposed to that team title?
It is definitely a different feeling whenever you have 5 individuals fighting for one thing, one common goal. And then for me to walk, 36 holes at the state championship and at the regional championship because she won it also by 8 shots. And then we got to state and she won it by 1. But it was just an amazing feeling. There's so much going on at the state tournament, and for me to see her make that final putt and then to tell her, hey, you've done it. And, you know, what you've accomplished is just an amazing accomplishment. The last time we had somebody win an individual state title was in 1983 and 84 with Holly Frizzell. And so with Chloe being able to go out there and just dominate at the regional site, coming to state, she was on a high, she was playing well. We had a great game plan. She stuck to it, and she was just amazing. And it's one of the things as a coach that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life.
One of the things you were talking to me when we were getting to know each other a little bit earlier was that in the high school and college level, the team and the individual competitions are happening simultaneously.
Correct.
So when you have players out there who are, you know, obviously trying to help you win a team title, but at the same time, you know, their scores count for individual, how do you, as a coach, how do you get them to focus on one thing first, other things second, and just do the best you can because the one thing will help the other?
We stress the team first. The individual stuff will come second. But anytime we're in a competition, if we see that we have the opportunity to win something for the team, that overrides everything. But if we do see that, hey, that it's not going to work out for the team, then the focus becomes the individual, and we're hoping to put them in the best position possible so that they can win something for themselves. But these kids really buy into this. If you look at our record, we're highly successful. We've won, since I've been here, over 20 district championships. We've been to the state tournament 11 times. So we know it works. And so we just continue pushing that idea that team first, individual second. And when the kids buy into that, then you know you got a successful program.
Everybody give a round of applause to Grapevine head golf coach Bryan Humphreys. I'm going to start, go outside in, because we want to save no offense, but we want to save the best for last. She's got a state championship. What do you want me to say? This is senior Nick Castro. Nick is also a champion. He won the district championship last year, so give it up for him. What is it like from your perspective? I know golf in Texas is a year-round thing. So when you have the fall season, it's a lot of tournaments, if nothing else, just to hone your game before the district and playoff battles start. What do you focus on in the fall in a lot of these tournaments?
I focus on just trying to get my game better for the spring, just to get my mental game and just prepare myself for the spring, because it's obviously they got the bigger tournaments and the bigger fields, and that's where you just want to compete and play your best.
Coach Humphreys was telling me how, at least in this area, you have to kind of travel a lot. Like the regional tournament is always out in Lubbock and has been for a long time. What is that like? Those for people in here who have played golf will probably understand this frustration. Going from an area like DFW, when then you have to head out to a place like Lubbock, where it's like playing in a wind tunnel sometimes. What is that like mentally for you guys?
Yeah, it's a lot different out there. The wind can get up anywhere to like 50 miles an hour usually. But the out-of-town tournaments are fun for a team because we like to go out, eat together. Obviously, the hotel room is fun with each other, just hang out. But the climate could be different, the altitude could be different. It just kind of changes your game, so you have to prepare for that.
Obviously, you're going to be coming back on the boys' team as the defending district champion. What are your goals for this coming spring, and what do you think your prospects are for not only you, but for the team as well?
I think the team can win a third district championship in a row, and I want to win another one.
And maybe even a little bit more?
Maybe a little bit more. I'll get to the state championship.
And what are your plans as far as college goes after high school?
I'm going to keep emailing schools, see what finds my attention. If that doesn't work out, I've got a couple other schools. So
you were mentioning, I think, that if you tried to play golf in college, you think you have one you might be able to catch on with. Is that right?
I could.
Which one was that?
North Central in Chicago.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Everybody give it up for senior golfer Nick Castro. And now we will move on to junior Chloe Sirkin, defending state champion. Another round of applause is definitely due for that. First thing, Chloe, what was that experience like, that feeling like when you realized that you had won a state championship?
It was really just like surreal. Like I didn't even know playing that I was gonna be in the top 3, and so when I came off and I did see tears in my coach's eyes, um, he told me that I won. It was just that I can't explain like the excitement that I had.
Was it a little bit shocking more than anything
Yes.
else? Yeah. Now, what about for you? Obviously, you're just a junior, so you've got another couple of shots at this to try and defend as a state champion. Do you not even think about that right now, and you just kind of put that out at the back of your mind? You just like, I won this. If I can win it again, great. But I've got bigger things to as goals.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Obviously, I want to go back. I want to defend my title. I want to win again, but I have tournaments that are a week away, 2 weeks away that I need to focus on and keep my head at. So really, when state comes, that's whenever it comes.
Now, obviously, with golf being a year-round sport, it's a game, and you know this as well, Nick. It's a game you have to work on almost constantly to keep it up. What does that do, especially from your aspect, since you're only a junior this year? Does it prevent you from maybe participating in other things, or do you have other things in school that you are also able to find time for?
It's a balance. I mean, I do find myself missing out on football games and other things that my friends get to go to that I would love to go to, but I find times to go, and I mean, I get to do pretty much everything that everyone else gets to do in between everything.
And I saw your mom is here tonight. Mom, was Mom crying as well when you won the state championship? All right, everybody give a round of applause to Chloe Sirkin. Thank you, guys. Yeah, you can leave it there. It's cool. Bob DeBesse back here with us now.
Hold on, one thing.
Yeah.
All right, so Rondell was rehabbing all summer long, right, with a devastating knee injury, bounced back. Coach Humphreys, for those of you that don't know, major back surgery in August, right? Right. Didn't come back to school until like the 24th of September or something like that. Okay, so he came back fighting strong. You couldn't even tell by the way he's walking. So he paid a price too.
Hey, it's a physical toll on everybody, right?
It is. Well, when you carry rings around, y'all see the ring he's wearing? When you carry those rings around, no wonder you got back problems.
Did you need a wheelbarrow to get that thing in the door? Well, not, that thing looked pretty heavy.
Make it as gaudy as you can. When you win like that, make them as gaudy as you can.
Well, Coach, when you reflect, and I've asked you this before, I asked you a little bit about it in one of our pregame interviews this year. When you reflect back now that this particular season is done, what are going to be some of your strongest memories for how this first year went as the head coach of the Grapevine Mustangs football program?
You know, it's funny. I was talking to one of the other coaches this morning about how really I haven't had time to reflect because it's been such a whirlwind from the time we got the job till the time it ended the other night. But when I do think about it, it always comes back to these guys right here. It always comes back to the kids and what a fantastic group it was. Again, just to see them grow like they did. You know, we had our rallying cry. Our theme this year was Mudita. And I think, and that's a little bit out of my personality to have something like that. But I thought that we needed something that could kind of be different and grab their attention and something that would make us a little bit unique because we were trying to find our identity. And these guys, you know, have kind of taken it and run with it. And that is, Mudita means vicarious joy in somebody else's success. You know, taking sincere joy in seeing somebody else succeed. And kind of like Bryan was talking about, get out of yourself and into the team. And I saw that happen. I mean, I physically saw that happen, emotionally saw that happen with this football team. And so I think that's the thing that I know that's the thing that I'll probably take the most from this season. You know, some of the greatest memories are made And some of the most lasting memories and most meaningful memories are made maybe in seasons when you don't have the success that you might have had other seasons. I've been a part of seasons that we've been highly successful, but they hadn't been a whole lot of fun because you really don't like the people you're around, but they just happen to be talented enough to win. This was one that it was just there was never a day that it wasn't fun to go to practice.
And this senior class, you know, with you taking over the program in your first year, there was a lot of new for the senior class as well, because the previous year, obviously, so many seniors were a part of that team and in leadership positions, and so you had a lot of guys step up this year in new leadership positions. Oh, ouch! But this senior class really seemed to come together as the season went on. When you think about this group of seniors in 2023, what do you think about, and what comes to your mind?
Well, we did have, we did have a certain amount of senior leadership coming into the year, guys that have been a part of the varsity in 2022. But a lot of our seniors had been on the JV.
Right.
So a lot of our seniors had never even spent time in the varsity locker room. And, those were the guys that, probably struggled to find what their identity was within the football team more than anybody else, because most of them were not only thrust into starting positions, they had never played on Friday nights under the lights, but all of a sudden now they were asked to be leaders too, just by the nature of being a senior. So that's not an easy thing to do. And like I talked about early on, those things take time. And I talked about we were going to be a work in progress, and we were a work in progress. But in my opinion, it was a worthwhile, certainly a worthwhile effort, and these kids took it and run with it. And in my opinion, I'm not saying that we achieved to all of our potential, but we came dang close, and we didn't win early on. And I think this is important to say, and I told the kids this the other day. We started 0-2, and the reason we started 0-2 is because we weren't ready to win. I mean, we truly were not ready to win. And if you look back at those games, yeah, you can say, well, this, and that, but we weren't ready to make those plays. Mm-hmm. It took a lot of growth, and it took a lot of maturity and a lot of trust for us to be able to put ourselves in a position to be worthy of success. And ultimately we were, and they did a fantastic job.
Well, and I can tell you, just from our perspective in the broadcast, you could see the growth in this team as the season went on, and it was very clear and obvious. But you speak about you didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of things because of how everything came down and how everything, the sequencing that it happened. Now you're going to have a full off season, and you're going to have that time to kind of really put your stamp and how you want things to progress in this program. When you think about this program, what do you want to do from your standpoint to keep the roll going in Grapevine football?
One of the things I feel bad for this senior class, in the 2024 group, Team 104 as a whole, we didn't really have an off season.
Right.
We tried, but we were working with a skeleton crew, and it was difficult. And then we had a different situation in the summer where we hired an outside company where we weren't really working directly with our kids all the time. And so the most important thing we can do for Team 105 is to have an intense, comprehensive, off-season strength and conditioning program that has consistency to it, is the proper length.
Sure.
Leading into the summer. Along those lines, we're going to continue to build on the culture that these guys, particularly the seniors, have established for us. And that's going to be important too, because that's not something you can just assume that the young guys, the guys that have been in the JV locker rooms, just step in and accept it and understand it. So those would be the two things that I would say.
Well, I would say definitely, just based on tonight, we've got a few good leaders to help you establish exactly what you're talking about.
It's ironic that in our 6 DNA players, we have 3 seniors and 3 underclassmen. So that bodes well for Grapevine football.
Well, it was an entertaining season for Team 104, and I know everyone here will be very much looking forward to how things go next fall with Team 105. Everybody give a round of applause to Grapevine head coach Bob DeBesse. Thank you to our hosts here at Mesa Mexican Cuisine here in Grapevine. Thank you once again to our production team, Davis Burke and Chris Wymore. Thank you to Ross Evans and the Grapevine Mustang Football Booster Club for everything they've done all season long. Thank you to our special guest tonight, Grapevine head golf coach Bryan Humphreys and state champion Chloe Sirkin and district champion Nick Castro. You will be able to catch this at grapevinemustangfootball.com. Is that right? GHSmustangs.com. And it will also be on the Tradio channels on YouTube, which is where you catch our football broadcasts as well. For head coach Bob DeBesse, my name is Jacob Detamore. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight, and go Mustangs.